marshals. It's all good, all in the right place. Excellent news. Right, we're ready to go then. Watch the lights is the cry from the lady at the front as she puts the flag down. No, it's the man at the front. Sorry, Jeff. Here we go then. The lights go out with a little bit of twitch there. Dom Herbertson's away well. I think Josh Leaning a little bit slow off the line. Will Leaning gets away. Dom Herbertson's got the inside. Has he got the Herbs to go up the inside of Leaning? Oh no, Leaning goes around the chop. I think Herbertson might get shuffled back a little bit to third place there. I'll let them call it, but I'm pretty sure that's Will Leaning who's going to be heading down towards you first of all there, Bradley.
Yeah, got him here, and it is Leaning who leads the way ahead of Adrian Kershaw, and there's Josh Leaning and Dom Herbertson, number 24 and 96, who are going side by side. Just watching further down the order there, everybody coming through safely, which is great stuff. The field rounded out by the number 32 of Jack Sumner, the man from Sheffield in South Yorkshire, is the man bringing up the rear of the field. But back at the front there, it's the 332 of Will Leaning, the man from Scunthorpe, who did so well earlier on before. Unfortunately, he wasn't doing so well. But we're watching him up towards Chris Curve now. And it's just a long line of bike CB500s, but through the left now of the gooseneck. First, second, third are all through there, and it is leaning from, in fact, there's the two leanings at the front as Dom Herbertson goes to the inside of Adrian Kershaw. So that Dom Herbertson, number 96, up into third place, ahead of Adrian Kershaw, and Dan North just getting a little bit sideways in fifth place, ahead of Luke McRae. But that is the top six as we go into the bottom of the mountain.
Big long line of bikes coming towards me, and as you say, they are definitely arguing. It is a battle of the leading. Somebody cutting the chicane there, a couple of people getting it wrong with the chicane there. They'll have to be relegated to place, but they'll go through to the marshals and they'll sort that one out as the leaders come across the top for the first of 6 laps here. Will these Josh, and we'll wait till the screen catches up with everybody else, because there could be a few changes out the back there as they shuffle their way through. Great place to pass, but if somebody so much as twitches, you can usually find somebody. Here we go then, slipstreaming battle at the front, side by side, half a bike lengthening, and that's going to be Josh Leaning up the inside of Will Leaning. Dom Herbertson in third. Then is Adrian Kershaw. Luke McRae leads Ollie McRae. Dan North, Corty, O'Hara, Reeve, Dean, Carver, Horner, Carter, Tucker, Dwyer, Gregory, Hayward, Humphrey and Marshall. Lots of chopping and changing. Horner going backwards by 7. O'Hara going up by 4. Back to you, mate.
Yeah, top three are through, and it is the two leanings ahead of Dom Herbertson. It's Adrian Kershaw and Luke McRae up next. And Luke McRae ahead, I think that was Ollie McRae just behind him there. Hard to tell as he race away from me over the top of the crest and then towards Park Corner. But everybody once again through safely, which is always good stuff. There's the number 99 of Max Moore, the class rep. Is just heading up towards Park Corner as we speak. But back at the front then, it is still, in fact, Josh was leaning Will across the line, wasn't he? But this time around, is that Josh? Yes, it is, I believe. The 24 of Josh Leaning leading the way from Will Leaning. Dom Herbertson still right there and doing everything he can to keep his fingernails dug into the rear tyre of Josh Leaning. Through the chicane, underneath the bridge, once again a few challenges further down the order, but Dom Herbertson will have a look at the sector time, see what Dom is doing.
Somebody down there, mate, can't quite see who that is. They're in a slightly unusual place on the inside of the chicane there on the exit. Rider is up, and mature rider, the rider's fine, the bike's off the line. It's going to have to wait for a break in the traffic to pick the machine up. Not quite sure who that was, unfortunately. I'll get the number when they don't come across the line, because also they've tripped the timing beam over the back there. Fastest of all with Josh Leaning. He's the one who's gone purple, but everybody else, of course, is going green on this, the first of the flying laps. As they come across the line, it's a battle of the leanings, and this time it is still Josh leading Will. Josh with the fastest lap of 42.872. However, his brother does go quicker in sector 2 there. Herbertson's still in third. He's a second or so behind, but he's a second and a half ahead of Kershaw, who's got McRae and McRae right behind him. A little bit of a gap then to North. Reeve to see who's gone missing. Their big bodies come across the line so far. No, it's Corty, Jake Corty.
Oh, sorry, Keith, we've got a rider down here at Charlie's too as well. And yeah, rider is up and perfectly okay, but it looks like Mev just took the front there. So we've got wave yellows as you go from Charlie's 1 into Charlie's 2. Rider is up and perfectly okay, but we'll pick up a number when they don't go into the second sector. But as we said, the rider is up and perfectly okay, and it's helping the marshals pick up the bike. So that's good stuff there. Turning our attention back to the front, and it's still the Leaning brothers just still going at it, and it's Josh Leaning who is leading the way from Will Leaning now. Dom Herbertson still trying to close the gap, and we've got a great battle for fourth place as well. It's currently Luke McRae now ahead of Adrian Kershaw, so number 16 Luke McRae ahead of Adrian Kershaw, and then Ollie McRae, who it's definitely a good fight going on there for fourth place as they go into the bottom of the mountain. But let's have a look then. It looks like the number 243 of Declan Reeve, Keith, hasn't gone into the second sector.
Took the timing, Bemsee, mate. No, yeah, good call there. Yeah, you're right. It's a couple of battles of the brothers here, of course. We've got the leadings at the front there, and then we've got the McRae's battling it out for the minor placings there in 5th and 6th. Though, actually, Luke and Ollie are in different classes. C2 for Luke and C3 for Ollie, the bigger man of the... Here come the leadings then over the line. And this time, it is still Josh leading. His brother can't pull over. His brother does go quicker by fraction of a second. A 42.866 is against the 8.72 for his brother. So I think Will Leaning is coming rapidly. Unfortunately, Dom Herbertson can't quite stay with him. Only a little bit slower, but fractions count for everything in this game, of course. But he's into the 43s, there into the 42s, everybody else 44, 45. But this battle of the leadings, this is proper racing, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. It looks like Luke McRae has put some distance between himself and Adrian Kershaw, but Adrian Kershaw has Ollie McRae all over him there, and in fact it's almost a signal manoeuvre there. So Ollie McRae really using the slipstream to his advantage as they go down Park Straight in towards Park Corner now. And I did notice on the exit of Charlie's as well that Josh Leaning took a long look over his left shoulder, so he knows it's a straight dogfight between himself and his brother. But it's Will who leads Josh down in towards Mansfield now, and Dom Herbertson, he's there or thereabouts, but just not quite close enough, and doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment to close down that gap, does he? And time is starting to run out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be 2/3 of the way into the race at the end of this lap, and it's only fractions of a second. Obviously, those fractions of a second are working nicely in his favour to hold on to that 3rd place very easily. A good little scrap going on for the 4th, but at the moment it's all C2 at the sharp end of this, so the middleweight class, Leaning, Herbertson and McRae. That's your top 4. Kershaw losing a couple of places last time round. Ollie McRae doing well, the big man out there. He comfortably leading the C3 class. Second of the C3s is down in 13th place. That's Carter. They come across the top. Once again, we see a purple there from Will Leaning. Oh, over the line this time. Will Leaning, I think, has got the break, and he does go double purple for a 42.0. Not quite as quick as the 41 he did earlier, but nonetheless, that gives him a half-second advantage over his brother, who is also now 2 seconds ahead of Dom Herbertson. Battle of the McRae, still Luke just leading Ollie, but only by half a second. Another half-second back, it is Adrian Kershaw with Dan North, another few tenths of a second back. Horner makes up in a couple of places as he goes past O'Hara and Dean, the impressive rookie there, who's in 12th overall, 9th place in class. Carver, Tucker, Carter and Dwyer. Oh, great little scrap. Just went past me there, mate. It was Gregory, Humphrey and Hayward, and they were separated by less than a tenth of a second, the three of them, as they came across the line pretty much 3 abreast. Brilliant racing. They should be with you soon. I imagine there'll be 2 or 3 abreast past you as well, mate.
Yeah, I've got them here now, and they're just making their way around Charlie's, and the leaders are down in towards Mansfield now, and it is still Will from Josh. The number 332 leads the number 24 with Dom Herbertson right there as well. Then it's the battle of the second pair of brothers. It's Luke McRae still leading Ollie McRae, so the number 16 ahead of the 73, and then the 23 Adrian Kershaw, 39 Dan North. But you're right, that 3-way scrap just coming past me now. Gregory, Humphrey and Richard Hayward, they were absolutely side by side, all 3 of them down the back straight and up towards Park Corner. But look at that, it's an 8-wheeler going into the bottom of the mountain in the fight for 4th place.
Last lap flag's going to come out this time, so it's the old hurry up. If you're going to do something, plot. And I tell you, we might have a plan in mind, and that could well be Josh Leaning. He's gone purple in sector 1 there, so he's definitely not giving up on this one. It's a green for his brother as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that magic 41 bracket. Again, his brother has a good look under his armpit, and I don't think he's sniffing it to make sure he doesn't need to put any more deodorant. He's having a good look at his brother, and his brother does go quick. It's his brother with a 41.682 for Josh there. He's working that slipstream hard, mate. He's going to come back to you, and I think he's got his race face on. He liked that earlier, and he'd love to go home with 2 of them on his dashboard tonight.
Will still has it at the moment from Josh Leaning, but we do have just, well, this is the final lap there, so Josh Leaning is right in the slipstream there. He pulls out to the right-hand side. That'll give him the inside line, 4 Park Corner. So Josh Leaning, number 24, he does just have a wheel in front of his brother Will as they go in towards Park Corner, and it's going to be about who's going to be latest on the brakes then. And, well, you can just know that you don't want to lose out to anybody on the circuit, but even more so your brother. So round Park Corner they go, and on towards Chris Curve then. We may, oh no, there's a few tail enders coming in towards the left-hander of the gooseneck now, but I don't think they're going to come into play for our race leaders. In fact, they're through now, so it is now still Will Leaning from Josh Leaning, the 332 from the 24 as they go in towards the chicane now. Dom Herbertson is pretty solid in there in that third place, but it's all about the battle for the front lead, the lead there, Keith.
Yeah, one of the last opportunities to overtake coming into the bottom of the mountain there, not been taken by Josh Leading. He just wasn't close enough, and his brother anchored up very late indeed. Over the top he goes. There's literally a bike length between them as they work the whole bed. Very, very difficult to overtake. However, Josh Leading and Will blur their way around here, both of them. Slower bike not going to come into play as the leaders come out of barn for the final time. It looks like Josh is going to go for the last dash. Slipstream, here he comes, and loses out by half a wheel length, which is 0.025 in the end there. He does indeed go purple on the last sector there, but it's not quite enough. I reckon if the straight there's another 50 metres up, to add a reversible result, but Will Leading picks up his first win in the Bemsee ThunderBike 500 ahead of Josh Leading. Dom Herbertson picks up yet another medal for his trouble ahead of Luke McRae. Ollie McRae will claim first in the C3, the heavyweights class. Then it's Dan North, Adrian Kershaw. Then comes that next battle. It's going to be Horner, is it? Yep, Horner from Dean and O'Hara. O'Hara getting pipped on the line there. Carver, Tucker, Carter. Over they come, and then rounding out your top 14, it is Dwyer as well, who picks up third in the C3 class behind Carter, who gets second. C1 victory goes to Tucker, and the other C1 out there is Abby Marshall. So if she hangs on, she's going to pick up a second place, but I'm not quite sure if there's medals because there's not enough people in the class, but nonetheless she's on the podium as far as the rookies go, so a good race overall for her, definitely on the first screen.
I was having a look at the times that we had when we came here just a few weeks ago, Keith. Obviously the weather conditions weren't quite as ideal as this, but yeah, we're into there was a 45s in those tricky conditions earlier, so it will be whatever the fastest lap time this weekend is. That'll be the new lap record for the ThunderBike 500s.
Okay, I was going to look that up.